we go. This used to be a road we're on right now. You see the road closure gates up ahead. Just took off from the edge of the road where the park is closed out here in Chatfield. And we're just rolling down the street right now. What used to be a street will be a street again when the flooding subsides. This is the bridge. Used to be about 10 feet over the water, 10 feet over the South Platte River, and now it's about 2 to 3 feet under water. To the left of me, South Platte River, which is closed right now to any type of recreation, including us. Even though the water's pretty placid, it's not exactly the cleanest water because it's been flooding so many towns. Quick 360 for any new viewers. We're on a auto bridge, car bridge. It's usually about 10 feet over the South Platte River. And we are kayaking down the street on the bridge right now. This is Chatfield State Park. It's about, I'd say, 15 feet over what it normally is. The bridge we're kayaking on right now is normally 10 feet over the water. And we're about 3 feet underwater right now. So it's easy for kayaking. See all the trailhead posts telling you this is normally a good spot to bicycle, hike, or horseback ride. I would say not so much right now. Last time we were out here, we did see a rattlesnake sitting on the water because so many of them are flooded out of their homes. So you got to be a little cautious, but you don't have to be paranoid or anything. There's a lot of turtles. Been finding turtle shell scales. Haven't seen any dead animals, so that's good. Everything made it out of the way before the flooding happened. Everything smells really good for all the garbage and debris that's kind of floated up and accumulated on the sides of the shores. Surprisingly does not have a bad odor at all. It's all quite nice. You can probably hear all the birds going crazy up in the trees right now. These trees are about 10 to 15 feet underwater. I'll give you a look back at the bridge. Got fish jumping all around us. Dragonflies. It's a gorgeous sight. It's kind of eerie seeing a bridge we used to kayak under. We're now kayaking through the streets of. It's good times though. It's good times. Kind of see there's a little trail here around where the road, there's a road beneath us. I'm guessing around here it's probably about 5 feet beneath us. Layer of garbage on our right, it's keeping the road kind of blocked up. It's pretty thick. There's a lot of tree bark in there and stuff. Gotta love Periscope, man. It's nice to bring you guys with me. Usually I'm out here just me and the wife, which I like. But it's nice to show others what we get to see, because it's a pretty wild view. You don't get to see this every day. Sorry about all the rocking. I'm trying to keep us as steady as we can, but I got you guys mounted to my boat, my kayak. I'm in a, what is this thing, a Dagger Crossfire. My wife is in a Gravity Savage. We don't do a lot of whitewater kayaking. We like the flatwater stuff. We're trying to get a little more acclimated to emergency situations on flat water so that we can deal with them on whitewater someday and not be complete wussies. Anyhow, that's my narration. Enjoy the view. road signs underwater.
It's fun to go back in there, but I ain't even.
You can't. I bumped up against it, and it's such thick bark and stuff. You couldn't get through there if we needed to.
Not only that, all the snakes and stuff. It was fun to go through those trees last time on like the other side. Remember? But I like to stay in a little bit more open water.
Open water. Still riding down the road. You can see the street signs posted up, no parking. I don't think we'll be parking right here, but yeah, there's a stop sign just ahead of us, along with some more no parking. I see some buoys out there, I'm guessing are marking off the South Platte, which we are not allowed to go into. Right now, so many people are getting caught up in those rapids and coming up missing, or not coming up at all, I should say. That they've closed the South Platte in Colorado until the water recedes.
One more person this morning, too.
Yeah, people aren't exactly following the rules, but we're going to follow them today.
This is our normal parking spot.
This is the Kingfisher parking lot. You can see the stop sign backwards right in front of me. And this is the entrance to the parking lot. Normally there's a dumpster right ahead of us and an outhouse. And this is where we normally park to come kayaking. I'm guessing by this, we'll go around the front of the stop sign so maybe we can give you guys a view of how high this water actually is. I've been just guesstimating, but here's a stop sign. So that there we go. That kind of brings it into perspective. You can see the dirt marks where the water had risen all the way to the top of the T, the top part of the S. Pretty wild stuff. So I'm getting caught in a little cross current here. There we go. Gotta stay away from the trees because although you can't feel it, the South Platte still is moving. There is a current going through which is keeping all the garbage pinned against the trees. Gotta stay out of that current because we don't know what's in those trees. It could be nothing, it could be snakes, it could be homeless people having sex. You just never know. Still rolling down the street, what used to be the street. Chatfield State Park is a reservoir, so the flooding will inevitably go down. This is definitely temporary. It's a lot of fun for us kayakers, but it's a whole lot of work for these poor park rangers out here. Water smells good, looks good. There's a lot of red algae, obviously from all the dying plants drowning at the bottom. But aside from that, this water's in really good condition. It doesn't, normal floodwaters smell very foul, but... Yeah, we were kind of confused yesterday why there was no way we could drive to the west side of the park in Chatfield, and now you can kind of see, this used to be nothing but a field. This was all fields and trees and one small road that we're still kayaking on. You can tell by the crosswalk here. But this is the path through the trees. That's the road up towards the east entrance of Chatfield. We're turning around right now and we're going to be heading west again. Towards the mountains, I'm sure. Anyone who knows about Colorado knows if you're paddling towards the mountains, you're always headed towards the west, sometimes southwest, but you always got a pretty good idea. As long as you can see the mountains in Colorado, you've got almost a permanent compass. Unless you're in the mountains, then you can't see the forest from the trees, and you gotta figure out other ways, but not a problem today. Good stuff, man. Wild to see. Trees, I would guess, about 5 feet underwater. Here's another 360. Sorry, try not to go too fast. Got you guys mounted to my kayak, so it's kind of hard to control the camera. But I'm doing my best here. Just love sharing our view with you guys. We get to come out here and do this a lot. So it'd be nice for you guys to get to come with us. This is our little way of doing that. Wish we could rent a party boat and bring you all, but this way's easier. You don't gotta get wet. Smell like fish. It really doesn't smell that bad. You can see a lot of pollen on top of the water from all the trees. We had all this monsoon rain here, obviously, and caused our trees to pollinate late in the season. So now we have a layer of yellow across the top of the water, which is saving my allergies, so keep it wet. That's what I always say. Doop. Kayaking around with my lovely wife, Mrs. Bex. Good times, y'all. Thank y'all for joining us. Still riding down the road. This is about 5 feet beneath us is a road that we normally drive through Chatfield State Park to get to the water. But right now the water is at least, I would say, 12 to 15 feet higher than it normally is. So it's caused areas that are normally completely dry to be looking like a lake right now. Normally this is a field. Very wild to see. If you were with us a little while back, we just crossed a bridge somewhere back in this area, which is about 3 feet underwater, possibly 4. Normally it's about 10 feet over the river. This is actually part of South Platte right now. It's all interconnecting and still constantly flowing. It's just so big you can't see the flow, but if you sit here long enough, I'm not paddling at all right now, and it's turning us kind of fast. It's going to take us in the direction it wants us. And stop. And that's the direction the water's flowing. But it's taking me backwards, and I want to go forwards. This nearby road you can see some cars on. I believe that's Wadsworth Boulevard. South, very far south. We're past 470, if anyone knows where the highways are here in Colorado. So we're literally in the foothills, right up against the base of them. Right at the shaft, the bottom shaft, right above the balls. It's good times. Haven't seen anything other than wood and garbage floating in the water, so that's happy. Yeah. It's normally an area back there has a little bit of water in it. And you could normally see in there and see a tiny bit of water, but right now you can actually, we could boat right back in there. I'm sticking with the road right now, because this is an area, that area normally has water. This area to my left never has water, so this is a very cool spot to see. Something right now is closed off to anyone other than people in boats. And if they don't know where the trees and tree stumps are, like the kayakers and the canoers, you can't go very deep. Kayak doesn't even go much more than maybe a foot in the water. So we can go in really shallow water, shallower than our paddles can paddle. Fortunately, the sun's so bright right now I can't read any chat messages, so if anyone's chatting, I'm sorry I'm not answering back, but I don't have a sun protector on this thing. I just used my regular car mount and a couple of clips to mount my cell phone to the front of my kayak. so I could bring you guys with me and show you the whole gig. I mean, obviously you can tell by this, what looks like a cottonwood here is very much underwater. All these bushes, which normally have a tree trunk, look like they're just kind of bushing up out of the water. You do got to be a little bit careful about going towards these trees, because rattlesnakes in this area have been kicked out of their homes due to all this water, so they are hunting for all the food that's kicked out of its home by the trees. We found one floating in the water the other day. I'd say he was about a 3 to 4 foot long rattlesnake, which, if you know rattlesnakes, isn't as big as they get, not at all, but it was more than enough to make me kind of pee a little bit, so I'm trying to avoid peeing in the kayak at any chance. It's not fun. But this is cool. In between what I think is an ash tree. Got that cottonwood. And over here to my left, on the west side, looks like a Russian olive. Quite a bit underwater. You can see by the brown stripe here that this thing was at least another 1.5 to 2 feet underwater. And the water has actually receded. So there's actually a lot more of this was submerged before we got here. It's been going on for quite a while. This place has been closed down. And there's the wife. I lost her a little while ago, but we found her. Not hard to find when everything is open water. Good times. Quit looking at my wife. Got some sweet clouds, some blue sky, cumulonimbus and cirrus clouds floating overhead, puffy and airy. Really beautiful view. Multi-layers of green and mountain and hill. It's gotten so much water lately that Colorado is unbelievably green right now. Normally we are very brown, very burnt. The sun is toasting everything. I've had 90 plus degree days lately. Today's looking to be another 90. But everything's looking awesome with all this rain we've been getting. Like afternoon storms, some of them severe. Sometimes, like for a week or two there, we were getting day-long storms. It was unbelievable, but I mean, for us, we're not used to that much rain. I was fighting it earlier. Still no parking signs scattered about. I know. Some of them are probably underwater, like that picnic area we saw last time. We've been out here and we posted some pictures on my Twitter account. West Coastless, at West Coastless is my Twitter account if anyone wants to check that out. Posted a couple of pictures of the picnic site. Tables almost completely submerged, and the permanent barbecue pits were absolutely submerged. And I was getting some pretty cool pictures of those, along with some restrooms. And don't worry, they came through. They were pretty smart, these park rangers. They came through and they pumped out all the bathrooms, they cleared out all the trash cans, moved all the porta pots before all this happened, because it being a reservoir, they are ready for this. This is still at, I think, about 40 to 50% capacity of our dam. We actually have a long way to go. We could fill up a lot more, but the dam is, I believe, between 60 and 80% open to let all this water out, and we're still this much flooded.
South Platte down in Denver is still flooded.
Yeah, we've opened the gates so much that we've flooded the South Platte in Denver to the point that it's also closed. It's just they can't hold it back anymore because it's making a heck of a mess. And I have no idea what they're doing. We've got a couple of people to our left hiking around.
I don't think you can even ride your bike over there, huh?
You might be able to ride your bikes to a point.
Oh, there's a bridge over there. Maybe
Yeah, you can see part of the road is still barely, looks like about 5 feet above the water over here. This is the far west side of the park, and this is where you first, close to where you first come in. Are you? Wow. Wife just put her paddle, which is a decently long paddle, all the way into the water, and we couldn't touch bottom.
It's 9 feet long.
It's a 9-foot paddle from end to end, she just said. So it's more than 9 feet where we're at right now, and normally this is a field. Just a completely dry field. The water is normally on the other side of this cottonwood line. I mean, that's why cottonwoods normally form, especially in Colorado. If you see a line of cottonwoods, you know there's water. It's always been a lifesaver. No matter where you are, you see a line of cottonwoods, there's a creek nearby, a river nearby, a pond at least, some form of water that you can get to and make portable. Yeah, the stables at Chatfield. Far off on that hillside you can see a couple structures. One is red, a couple are brown. Those are the horse stables.
We were going all into those trees last time, but the water wasn't to the leaves.
Well, I don't want to kill my battery, so we're gonna log off for a minute here, and then we'll log back on when we have a better view to look at. Thanks you guys for joining us. See you soon.